And so I'd like to welcome to the stage me. It starts on a very cold winter's night in Canada. I'm snowboarding with the coolest, cutest guy in high school, Matt. And for him to fall in love with me, I need to impress him. And tonight is the night. I see a huge 3-meter tall snowboarding wall, and I race toward it. And while I'm in the air, my hair looks fabulous. I realize I do not know how to turn around. As I'm lying on the floor, Matt snowboards over to me, his face full of concern and love, and he looks down on me. And the first thing I think, snow is really hard. I laid there realizing that something had changed because I had plans for this life. And the doctor took that away. The doctor told me the break would change my life. A tiny little bone in my L5, this little, on this body, you'd think it wouldn't make a difference, shattered into 1,000,000 pieces. And he told me I'd live with lifelong pain. And I was 15. I didn't know how long life was. And I had these plans. I thought, okay, I'll grow up to be a normal small-town Canadian girl. I'm gonna have 1 husband, 2 kids, and after 20 years of marriage, a renovated kitchen. And that wasn't going to be the plan anymore. But I refused to accept what those doctors had said. I went flying away, chasing doctors, literally, sometimes as boyfriends, sometimes as people to help me, but I went to 50 different countries, lived on 6 different continents, looking for someone who believes that you can fix the unfixable. I would go to India, went to Brazil, Cambodia. And then when I ran out of money, I would go back to Canada and waitress, fill my pockets with the tips, say goodbye to my roommates, mom and dad, and fly, always flying towards hope. I would fly towards those spiritual doctors in the East, you know, those inner child therapists, poking acupuncturists, and those voodoo doll people. That did not help so much. And I met along the way my guru, bald, beautiful, from Bangalore, and he helped me. And he helped me realize that this was something that I could overcome. And sometimes in those difficult years, those 10 years of chasing hope, the pain went away. And Goenka and I, we would dance under the starry Indian sky. Life is life, na 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 na. Life is life. The pain always came back. Months I would live without it. And then I'd wake up again, realizing my life will not be what they told me on TV. I would never have those children, as lucky as Simonetta is to have them. Because I thought, how can I carry children when even just bending over to pick up socks hurts so much? And I heard that children and some husbands drop a lot of socks. Through those years, hope was the only thing, I sound like Lana Del Rey. Hope was the only thing that kept me going, because the other choice was turning into a sad little señorita who gave up on hope and got 7 cats. But meow, 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 I did not. I fought because I wanted to have a certain life, a life that they promised us in the movies, the more glamorous one, where you could have it all. Time passed, 12 years passed. And I realized something very incredible through all the ups and downs and sadnesses and tips and falls and heartbreaks. And as I lay crying on the floor, this is at the beach in Goa in India, I remembered something very, very, very powerful that I had learned. It was 4 syllables, 1 word, that changed the despair to beauty. The word was fortunately. Yes. Unfortunately, I broke my back. Fortunately, I got to travel the world trying to fix it. Unfortunately, I spent all my money doing so. Fortunately, I won the lottery. Unfortunately, I did not. The word fortunately put at the beginning of my sentences was what shifted the entire way of looking at my life. From being a sad insurance saleswoman in Canada in the pouring rain 9 months of the year to moving to this beautiful, beautiful city 9 years ago. Everything changed once I decided to see the positive of what the stuff, in America we have an expression, when shit hits the fan. Yeah? Wow. Have you looked up? That is beautiful. And so this word, and so I'm just going to take a moment with you guys right now. You're going to turn to the person that's behind you, because you possibly came with someone you know. Turn to the person behind you, and you're going to have a 2-way conversation. The first person with the longest hair, is going to start with unfortunately. So Josie and I are practicing that. Josie, start a sentence with unfortunately about anything in the world. Fortunately, you learned resilience, and it turned you into the woman that you are now that empowers women. Unfortunately. Fortunately, we get to have you in our community of women in Barcelona. Yeah? So, the objective is to start your sentences with unfortunately, the person with the longest hair. The second person will say fortunately to each of those sentences. You have about 1 minute. The conversation can be about anything. Unfortunately, it's too hot today. Unfortunately, I forgot to put on deodorant. Unfortunately, I'm getting gray hair in my eyebrows. True story. Okay? And then the other person is going to just see if they can put a spin on it. And afterwards, we want to see which one you feel more comfortable in. Which one do you live in more? If you're normal, unfortunately, but you're not normal because you're here today on a Friday when you could be at the beach. The tourist, you know it's only 6 minutes away, right? Yes, thank you for being here. So please turn around and say, hi, you're gonna be my partner. Who has longer hair? You can do it in a group of 3, Kitty. 3 people. Unfortunately, time is up. Miriam says, unfortunately, doesn't work. You've trained it out of your system. Yeah? How many of you have trained, unfortunately, out of your system? That you, yeah? Yeah. You can do the unfortunately. Yeah? Simonetta could do it. You couldn't deal with it. How beautiful. There is so much strength to starting our sentences with the positive side of life. So everybody do like thumbs up, like this. Or what was that? A-OK, right? This is how we see the world normally. You're so cute, Miriam. Right? And I propose that when we do fortunately at the beginning of our sentences, we flip it. We see it completely different. Now, let's see who's under age 30 here. I don't see anybody. Right? Like this, all the way around. Carpal tunnel, what? Yes? Very cute. I've been practicing for a while. So I didn't have to go all around seeking out doctors to figure out what fixed me, because what fixed me was realizing that it is something that I have to deal with, that there are some things in life that we have to accept. I am this tall. I cannot change it whatsoever, right? I hated being this tall. Part of being this tall was because I fell and broke my back. My whole life, I've hated, I'd say this, because it broke on me. It was supposed to deliver me beautiful babies, a tall, handsome, blonde husband, and then I moved to Spain, and they're short and hairy and dark, and it just didn't turn out the way I thought it would. Yeah? But what I have learned is that we can take, the lemons of life. When life gives you a lemon, you make a margarita. Yes? And that's what we'll be having tomorrow night at the after party. Yeah. And then a walking tour on Sunday. And so when the topic today was well, and I thought, women entrepreneurs, being well, what a challenge. We walk into a world where we have to adapt constantly to the way the system has been built. And then we try and change the system, but we're in the system. And then we try and bring ourselves into it. Shh, how rude. And it's such a struggle to maintain the balance, Simonetta. And thank you for being one of those powerful women that show us that it's possible to do it all with a support system. And so as I'm the vice president, I almost took the president's job. Did you hear that? I'm the vice president of the Barcelona Women's Network. Don't tell the president. And we're building a lot of community events. So if you live in Barcelona, we want to create women who come together. On Monday, we're doing an entrepreneur co-working session at Barcelona Activa. In the evening, we're doing women's improv. 2 days ago, we did women's public speaking, the only club in Barcelona that is for women, where women can come and practice their speaking. And so I invite all of us that live here, and those of you who like to commute, to join our strong community of women entrepreneurs that are supporting each other. And the fact that you're here today and supporting this really warms my heart, because I know that that's growing, and we can be the women in the workplace. We don't have to act like dudes. This guy, it's probably a guy. Yeah? And so to all of you, fortunately, we're lucky enough to be here in this beautiful place together. And thank you very much. When life gives you lemons, you make cheers.